Well, good morning. Sunday, September 18th, and we just come off of like a 24-hour soaker. I'm not exactly sure how much rain we got. Looks like, well, we can just check here. It's really wet, so I don't know how much was in here. Probably not that much. We haven't really had any measurable rain since like sometime in July. But we are at 1 3/4 inches, I think. Yeah, so I don't know, say we got certainly over an inch, and it was long overdue, really. I didn't actually even realize how much of a drought we were in, kind of until it started raining. So we had like a tiny spritz of rain back in about the 3rd week of August. That's when we had started combining our peas. Of course, at that point, the rain was too late, so the crops were already well into filling out. When we really got thinking about it, so I was talking with the gentleman farmer there last night. We did a live stream on our YouTube channel called Smoke and Oak. We were talking about that kind of before and after, and a little bit during that. I think most people honestly didn't recognize how much of a drought we were actually in this year, and we really saw it in the yield. So our wheat yield was down around 40, our barley maybe around 60 bushels to the acre. Our canola, now we had one that ran close to 40, but then we had one north here that ran, I would assume, under 20. And I think our one south that we still have left out is going to run under 22. I mean, I don't think that. I basically know that. I'd be very shocked if it didn't. So our peas, they were 22 bushels, 20 bushels to the acre. Then our oats did very well. However, our oats are down by the lake, pretty good land. And I don't know how that works, if they actually pull moisture from the lake or whatever. It just seems to be better down there as long as it doesn't freeze. So we definitely were affected by the drought. Certainly the peas were. Something happened with the canola as well through the growing season that it didn't like, and even the wheat got it, which is kind of surprising because generally wheat can take some hot, dry weather, but I guess it still needs a bit of rain. So anyways, today we're not going to be working outside. It's just far too muddy. So with no rain for about the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, no measurable rain anyways, the yard got pounded right into dust. We had like 1/2 inch to 1 inch of actually really fine dust. Where I was driving that telehandler around, so those are foam filled tires, and that telehandler's heavy. It was just a grinder. It just ground all that gravel. It ground it down into the ground, ground it up actually, and turned it into really fine dust. Up by our bin yard, where we've been driving the trucks through, the Super Bs and all the grain trucks, that's been pounded away. We drive the combines in here between fields and blow them off and clean them up. We do a little bit of maintenance here in front of the shop. So they've been here grinding the gravel away. Long story short with all that, now the rain came, like the inch of rain, and turned all that dust into the stickiest Play-Doh-ish, like clay mud. And walking around, driving around, if you drive a vehicle through here, it's just instantly, the tires are just full of mud. Then it picks up whatever little gravel you have left, and it takes it and it always drops it off. I don't know where it goes. It goes into another dimension, I guess, because you never get it back. I do have that pile of gravel over there that was from the shed build that I was planning to put here. It's just we didn't have the time. And with it just being so dusty and us grinding it away to nothing anyways, I didn't really see the point. So we do have our 1955 Cockshutt tractor in the shop. That all the wiring, which is kind of funny because there's only about 8 wires on the whole tractor, they all just melted and fried. So I don't know what exactly happened there. Something went to ground or whatever. Some positive wire went to ground, melted it all. So that's going to be the project for today. So Buddy and I are going to just work in the shop. We're going to let it dry up out here. And then maybe by tomorrow or the next day, we can spread this gravel around, float the yard a bit. It won't be combining now for a few days for sure. And then we'll be able to get that 100 acres of canola off. We still have our 5 acres of sunflowers and another 5 acres of oats around the dugout that I had underseeded grass into. So the sunflowers we're hoping to combine. The oats I expect we'll just maybe get the neighbor to come over and silage them or something. I doubt they'll make it. I mean, they could, but we rarely get through August without a freezing, like a kill frost. So I really doubt we're going to get through September without a killing frost. And if they freeze, they'll make nothing. I mean, the oats will be so light they'll blow away. So we're gonna hop in here and get going on this tractor. So this is the Cockshutt. We got most of this off. I did want to take the loader off as well, just so I had more room to get in there. I didn't get to do that. But we got all the panels off. I think I'm gonna take the rest of it off. I'm gonna take the air cleaners and stuff off. And I don't know, I think most likely this thing's actually even gonna get a paint job. I'm gonna wash it up. I need a gasket here. So this is a 2-stroke diesel, and it weeps oil a little bit. So we'll, what color is he gonna be? Gray? That sounds ugly. But yeah, we're going to, first we're gonna get it rewired up here so we can actually drive it around, and then and go from there. So in here, where was the key? Well, maybe the key, Dad might have taken the key out already. It was here. But there's a bunch of melted wires up here, and even in behind the dash. Kind of funny that they actually had a wiring harness back in the day, but they did have a very small wiring harness. In there, there's about 8 or 9 wires, and there's various spots on that harness that are burnt through. So we've got to eliminate that and start over. All right, well, what do we got here? It's about 3 o'clock, been a few hours. Just got the loader off. Probably gonna take off these loader guides, I guess. What else we got? I got all the wiring pulled through, so there's not many wires on this, and I'm still confused as to actually what's shorted out. But this is effectively the wiring harness for the whole entire tractor. There is one more here. This is all the lights. So I was stripping it back to try to actually see where the heat started. So I don't know if one of these wires just got old and brittle and broke, and then I'm assuming came into contact with some iron down here, be it this bell housing or whatever. I don't see actually any arc marks there, but it might have just touched and then stuck too, right? You know, could have been to anything to here or whatever, but everything's cleaned out of here, so this will all get cleaned up. And actually, I think while I'm at it, I might even give the old girl a shot of paint and just see if we can brighten the day up a little bit. So it's going to need a good washing. I got the battery back in it. What I'm going to do for this process is just hook up effectively probably a toggle switch and a push button, so I can just start it when I need to. You can just arc it across too, but that's not the best. And then shut off is up here, so we will see. It looked pretty good one year. We had put all this, this is actually just carpet, but we had put all this in here to upholster it, and on the roof and stuff. It looked pretty nice. Got a new seat for it. But these seats actually aren't so great. So they're done so tight that with the, down to -40 and then up to +30, they just actually split. So gotta find a different style seat, really. That was I believe that was like the original style that was in here, but just get that reupholstered or something, because it's nice when they have a nice seat. Other than that, everything was working, the fan and everything up there, that light, until it decided to just short out. I was thinking of finding maybe some digital gauges or something to throw in here. That would be pretty neat, but I'll have a look. Other than that, I'm going to keep disassembling this, and then I'll be able to fire it up, run it outside, give it a big shot of degreaser, and then plan my next move, basically, if I'm going to... at this point, I got me as well, right? Find all the oil leaks. There was a few down here. The rad is new. We did that a few years ago. Totally rebuilt the PTO and the hydraulics, because there's some I'm not sure what they are. I think there's some sort of a safety valve, like a pressure relief valve down in here. And there was actually some junk in there. So, and it's funny, when I looked on the internet, there was some folks talking about, you know, they'd engage their PTO and they'd bust their clutch housing inside there. So we busted about 4 of them, I think, before we finally got the picture that there was something else wrong. We actually bought a new PTO housing from the wrecker, not housing, I guess, complete PTO. And we were definitely a few $1,000 into it before we, yeah, the other PTO was actually in that bag and the guard is still on there. So we were quite a bit into it before we got smart enough to go further. And we peeled these hydraulics, these bypass valves out, and there's actually a piece of steel, I believe, stuck in a spring, like a broken spring. So pump is new. That's all been cleaned out. This little pump is new. I'm not even sure. My dad explained to me why this auxiliary pump is on here. Other than that, yeah, everything works. So we got, what is this? Well, that's ether can he had mounted on here. I'll change that out of here because if I'm going to give it a paint and find some decals and stuff, don't want that ugly thing hanging on the side. Also got to mount this block heater somewhere a little more efficient. So that's one thing that's unfortunate about these gem of a tractors, all these old series tractors. They served their purpose and then they got discarded. You know, this one isn't really a whole bunch different. I remember my dad seeding with this. He pulled 28 foot of international drills with it. He didn't buy it new, but it was almost new. It was a demo. He did have to take, I believe they had that Cockshutt engine in there. He had to take that out, put this GMC in there. So I mean, I think if I can find the hours in the evening or whatever, I'm gonna make this my winter project, and see if we can get it back to nice and shiny. Also, what might be nice to upgrade these old style lights, maybe some LED lights or something. These actually are the original tires, believe it or not. And I'm a bit indifferent on what to do about that. If a guy should spend the bucks and replace them with some non-cracked tires, or if that's not worth it, because this is never going back to the field, almost guarantee that. But I mean, on our farm, all it does is really run an auger. So, not sure what the best bet is, but it's a good running tractor. And when the block heater is plugged in, it almost starts no matter what. So, pretty cool anyways. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.